How many of you ever wondered where and how your food comes from? Us consumers enjoy delicious meals every day, but we never really acknowledge the fact of where it came from. I question if all you here believe that our industrial food system produces the nutritious, healthy, life-sustaining stuff we call food. A factory farm is an industrial operation that raises thousands of animals that we eat each year. These animals are constantly being abused and mistreated, but not only does this affect us consumers, but it also not only does this affect animals, but it also affects us consumers, because it can bring serious health issues upon a person without us even realizing it. I am against animal cruelty, and I am very against how these factory farms mistreat these animals. I'm not asking for people to turn vegetarian unless they want to, but there are simple things people can do to help to contribute to end this. It takes one person to influence many people, and our ignorance can bring a negative impact into our community, but by helping to end this cruelty on these animals, it can really change a lot of things in our society. First, I will talk about what happens behind closed doors in these factory farms. Second, I will talk about how this can affect us. And lastly, I will discuss some solutions people can do to help. So first, let's talk about what animals go through on the daily. When people talk about factory farms, some of us picture scenes from old McDonald's with cute little farmhouses and animals running around freely. According to an article on a website called American Society for Prevention of Animal Cruelty, short for ASPCA, which is an organization to help end animal cruelty, chickens are kept in tiny cages and are injected with unnatural fast growth. Farmers are also constantly kicking and tossing these chickens like they're some soccer ball, and they're so disproportionately heavy that some of them struggle to even stand or move. Baby chicks are removed from their mothers immediately, and their beaks are cut off without using any painkillers, causing some of them to suffer with a lot of pain. Cows and pigs also go through a lot of cruelty as well. Cows and pigs are fed with unnatural diet. They're given corn because corn makes them fatter, which produces more money. They are sometimes they're so heavy that they can't even move, so they crawl, and the farmers are always either kicking them or hitting them with a stick or whatever it takes just to hurt them, which is unfair. Some of these animals are shot, gutted, and skinned with them still being conscious of what's going on. So now that you know a few of the basic things that some of these animals go through on the daily, have you guys ever wondered how this can affect us? Be aware of the consequences people can face later in the long run. Injecting hormones into animals can result in many health issues for some of us people. Consuming these animals can result to more cancerous conditions. Also, the animals' waste that comes from the factory pollutes our air, water, and land that can later on in the future really affect our health. According to a scholarly article published in the Journal of Business and Economics in 2012, 60 people in the U.S. die each year of E. coli, and 73,000 people become very ill because of the contamination. But now farmers induce these animals with antibiotics to prevent any infections but later this can also cause negative effects into our lives. People can become immune to these antibiotics, people can become immune to these antibiotics, but these antibiotics will usually kill off most of the bacteria, but the drugs leave resistant individuals, which later can reproduce rapidly without fighting another bacteria. So now that you know some issues, some of the issues it can bring us if farmers keep mistreating these animals, the next step is making a change. Solutions. According to a movie documentary called Food Inc., directed by Robert Kenner, he states many possible solutions that people can do to help. One solution is buying organic food. Although it's expensive, but it can bring a lot of health benefits to you, and you can save a lot of animals too. When purchasing also foods, check the labels and see if it's animal welfare certification labels. Example, if it says free range means that the animals are living outside and they're not constantly being mistreated. Another is having locally grown food and giving a lot of feedback. Your wallet is a really great source of power, so if you give feedback, it can really save a lot of animals. To wrap things up, I have discussed how people have the power to make a change in an animal's and person's life. It takes one person to influence many people, and our ignorance can bring a negative impact into our community. But if you help by helping, you can change a lot of things in our society. First, I talked about what happens behind closed doors in these factory farms. Second, I talked about how this can affect us. And lastly, I discussed some possible solutions people can do to help. Food companies do whatever it takes to please people. People have the power to change what they don't like. Director and award-winning filmmaker Robert Kenner had said, "You can change the world with every bite."